Welcome back to the Real News Network. Tonight we're discussing, to begin with, Hurricane Gustav, and we're joined now with Danny Glover, coming from Berkeley. Danny, you've been in New Orleans dozens and dozens of times, particularly since Katrina. Danny, we've read many stories about a kind of ethnic cleansing of New Orleans, of thousands and thousands of evictions, thousands of people who have spread throughout the country and not been able to return. Can you speak a bit about that? And then also, what are the day-to-day living conditions for people who were flooded, lost their houses? I'm talking mostly about the poor people of New Orleans. I know many houses have not been rebuilt. What is it you've witnessed there?
Well, the first thing you witness coming into New Orleans is a large homeless population, men and women and children who are living under the bypass is around the city, the freeways around the city, and most often living in tents and very vulnerable structures. So that's the first thing you recognize right off the bat. In fact, that's something that I had not seen coming to New Orleans at the times that I had come before the Katrina hurricane. Certainly, the second thing you also see is still the devastation within the Ninth Ward. When you speak about ethnic cleansing, you try to be a little careful in using that phrase, that terminology. For the most part, I think that 45% of the whites have been returned to the region, and I believe, as my numbers indicate, less than 15% of African Americans have returned to the region. So the disparity there is quite glaring. And where are the jobs? For those people who are returning, where are the jobs for them? Where's the housing for them? So I think certainly the housing situation is a critical issue, not only for those who are returning or plan to return, but also for those who might want to come and spend some time and lend assistance to the rehabilitation of the city. So housing is still a critical issue around there. As I witnessed around the James Singleton Charter School, is that there's an influx of children who are coming back who are preceding their parents. In fact, their return, the children's return, is often precipitating the parents coming as well. So I think there are a lot of kind of social dynamics that are there that we have to confront with. Certainly, what is clear that city governance has to talk with grassroots organizations, has to put them and make them a part of the overall planning for the resuscitation of the city. And certainly, when you talk about that, that means that simply that those councilmen and the mayor and everything have to talk to those people.
Well, Danny, there's another side to this story, which is perhaps not very well told in the news media, which is, as I understand it, the extent to which local people are solving their own problems. That there is.
Well, that's the other part about it.
Talk a bit about this.
Let's go on the other side of that, because certainly the inertia from the city has not diminished people's capacity to be participants in their own rescue. Meetings, I've gone to meetings and rallies and ways in which governance, along with the educational institutes, either Xavier or Hillard, have been participating in plans that look at community development in a much broad and more comprehensive way. How do you bring the wherewithal of the university and its capacity in the forefront, place that in the forefront of what those people are doing on the ground, grassroots people are doing on the ground. I've seen that to be a very active part of what's going on.
And one of the things that came out of this was a film that you've been involved with. Could you tell us the film and tell us a bit about it?
Well, the film that I and my company, Louverture Films, that's in honor of Toussaint Louverture, the great Haitian liberator, my company and my co-founder, Jocelyn Barnes, is a film about a story of reaffirmation, an inspirational story about two people who are caught in the midst of Katrina and become extraordinary in their work. Their lives are changed by that. And their lives are changed by the service that they provide to other people. They feel as if they have another destiny and another life that has to be re-envisioned in the New Orleans. They have some value in their life where they had come out of this hurricane scarred like everyone else, afraid like everyone else, and certainly lost everything and that they had all their possessions like anyone else. But there's a regeneration of their own humanity that comes out of this experience, and they see themselves now simply as their brother's keeper. This film was directed by Carl Deal and Tia Lesson. Our two, as I say, stars, because I come out of that world, our two stars of the film are Kimberly and Scott Roberts. So they are the two people who now represent something else because they are there. They are there in the midst of the hurricane, and fortuitously they captured this on a $20 video camera, you know, a la Rodney King video camera, and that could change the way in which people look at and see what's possible. We've done everything we can to get this film seen by as many people as possible in the country because we know the value of this and the service that this film could play in other communities. As I've said and many others said, New Orleans is symbolic of what is happening in inner cities around the country. Those places like East Oakland or South Central or South Side of Chicago or Harlem, Bronx, you can run them off. There's a litany of them. The same issues, the same problems: the lack of jobs, the evisceration of infrastructure, the lack of health care, etc., etc. All those things happen, and so we have these people who are now champions of struggle, champions in changing the way that New Orleans is going to look.
Well, the film is Trouble the Water.
I'm sorry, I did everything except mention the film. The title of the film is Trouble the Water.
And I think it's opened in New York, and is that correct? And it's going to be open?
It's open in New York. It opened in Los Angeles. It opened in Santa Monica, Pasadena. It opened in Atlanta this past weekend, this Friday, so it's in Atlanta. It's also opening on the 5th of September in San Francisco and Berkeley, and it will open in New Orleans on the 19th of September. But you can find out all this information by simply going to www.troublethewaterfilm.com, and you can find out when it's going to open.
I know Danny has to run. Thank you very much for joining us. And as we leave, we're going to go to a break. We're going to show the trailer from Trouble the Water. And it's a remarkable film. I've seen it, and it's amazing. This young woman buys a camera just a day or two before the storm Katrina hits. As far as I know, having no idea Katrina's even on the way, and winds up trapped in a house and filming her experience, which turns into an amazing feature documentary film on the storm and what comes afterwards. Thank you very much for joining us, Danny.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
My name is Scott Michael Roberts. This is my wife, Kimberly Roberts. We're from New Orleans, the Ninth Ward, underwater. They said on the news that it's like aiming toward Mississippi, so we might get the outskirts.
That's the sky. It look pretty now, but it sure soon will change.
Girl, I hear some thunder.
Golly, look at that water, boy. Woo, Lord.
No, you see how hot it is?
Ooh, be with us, Lord, please. Oh, let's water. Come and do the wonders. Hey, help us get off the roof, man. You're a real hero, boy. We under siege, truly under siege. Everybody done lost everything around here. Now, you have seen what Katrina has done to us. She stuck us in her attic. I'm running out of juice, too. These houses have not been inspected yet. There could be dead people right now as we speak, because the National Guard, they have not been here. And it's 2 weeks after the hurricane.
This is one of the Navy bases that Bush had planned to close down. Why can't we stay overnight? What about the women and children? They said, get off our property or we're gonna start shooting.
We don't need you out here if you try to trouble the waters.
I don't want to raise your expectations too high.
My son wanted to join the army. You're not gonna fight for a country that does not give a damn for you.
Don't come to our town if you you try to trouble the water.
The hood always be last to be fixed.
I'm living life after Katrina. It's hard out here.
You gonna make it one.
Okay, we all gonna make it.
Down south, hustling, they gon' trouble the water. I got that heat, but they ain't.
I urge the citizens to continue to listen to the local authorities.
It's our home, our food, our neighbors, our problem. That's where I wanna be at.
Katrina's still going on.
Trouble in the water.
Night walk.